So I look at gig work as an opportunity like DoorDash, Spark Delivery, Uber Eats, Instacart. Like I look at all those gig apps as an opportunity to earn you money by yourself, doing it on your own terms and doing it on your own time. Okay? Like if you're at a point where you're sick of the 9 to 5, I suggest that you start a gig work app where you're either doing DoorDashing or you're doing Spark, Uber Eats, Lyft, like whatever, Instacart. And even though it may not seem like it's a lot of money to earn from doing those apps, you know, it comes down to how much time you are willing to spend on doing those gigs. How much, you know, it's all about how much time you want to put in. Because when you go to that 9 to 5, you are sacrificing a lot of your time, a lot of your energy. So that time and energy could be spent on getting money, earning money on your own terms, right? Where you're not required to punch in a clock. You're not required to be micromanaged by a supervisor or your boss. You know what I'm saying? In this sense, when you're doing DoorDash or Spark, you are pretty much self-employed. Like you are your own boss. You know, you're earning on your own time. You set your own schedule. And that's a true benefit to doing gig work. Okay, that's really a blessing when you do DoorDash and Spark. You know, I currently do Spark Delivery, where I pick up groceries from Walmart or from like Sam's Club or like different retail stores like AutoZone, you know, Target, Best Buy, and deliver the goods to the customer. In some cases, I'll get offers that, you know, will have me shop for a customer, you know, and had a little bit of an incident a couple of days back where I was shopping for a customer at Walmart, and this was a very large, you know, order, a lot of groceries that this customer had ordered. And honestly, I said that the customer had canceled the order, right? That's what it seemed like. But at the very end, when I scanned that last item, I kid you not, it's like the app just went bonkers. Like the whole app just fizzled out, and I'm saying to myself, okay, what's the problem here? Like the internet connection was pretty solid at first. Like while I was doing the shopping and scanning all those items, the app was working just fine. And then out of nowhere, it's like the app just crashed out. You know what I mean? And so I lost internet connection on top of that. So I had to restart the app pretty much. And then that's when I got that notification that, oh, this trip has been canceled. And I'm just like, how can that be? And why would a customer cancel an order like this when they paid for all this stuff, right? And you know, I know I was kind of like running out of time, I guess. Like I wasn't particularly on time with finishing the order because I had to look for all the items, and some of the stuff that the customer was asking for, they didn't really have some of the stuff on shelf. And so even the substitutes that they may have asked for, required, that wasn't there either. So I'm like shuffling for at least 5, 6, 7 items looking for this shit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that was the frustrating part about it, because I literally wasted an hour doing shopping for a customer, and I was keeping my mother waiting because she was doing her own shopping, and so she was waiting for me for a pretty long time. And you know, so that was just kind of like annoying. So, you know, maybe it turned out that the customer did not cancel the order. It may have been the app's fault that did that. And sometimes, Spark can kind of crash out sometimes, but that's the first time I've ever had that problem. And so there's no way that I can now get in contact with the customer that I was shopping for. You can only chat with the customer as you're doing the shopping, as you are delivering or the person's groceries and whatnot. And so now that the trip was canceled on me just out of nowhere, okay, it's like I'm convinced at the time that it was a customer, but I had to think a little bit long and hard about what could have been the problem. It could have been problems with the app, also a mixture of the internet connection, but for the most part it had to be the app that was causing that trip to be canceled out of nowhere like that. You know what I mean? So I had to send some feedback to Spark and see if I could have got that problem solved, and I haven't heard nothing from them. So I was trying to get in contact with them, and there was no way that I could reply back to the customer about the situation. So now the customer potentially was left out in the dust, and I have no way of even contacting the customer that the trip was just miraculously canceled out of nowhere. So I'm not saying things like that are going to happen all the time, but rarely does that ever happen. And that's the first time, like I said, it has happened to me, right? But I digress from that. When it pertains to doing gig work, it's really a benefit, man. It really is. Like, you decide your own hours. Like, who doesn't want to decide their own hours? Decide when they want to work. Decide when they want to stop working. Right? Decide how much money they want to make for the day. Like, who don't want that type of freedom? You know what I mean? Like, who does not want that type of freedom? So even though those apps don't garner a lot of earnings, right? But you look at those gig apps, it's like you're your own boss. You're kind of, I wouldn't say you're running your own business, but you're definitely deciding your own time to work and deciding how much you want to get paid. And so to me, that's a step above a 9-to-5. And that kind of gives you the freedom to travel around different areas and see different things. Okay? Like, it just expands your horizons, and that's something you want to do if you're tired of the 9-to-5 workplace environment. Okay? And I've done Spark for about 2-3 years now, and I like it. It's very good for me to like step out that environment and like do something else to earn, and to feel like I'm in control of my time. I'm in control how much I want to make for the day. And to me, like, you can't beat that, man. You really can't. So like, you definitely want to invest in Uber, Lyft, Spark, DoorDash. If you want to, a combination of all 3, 4, Instacart, and there's a lot of people that do gig work, and with them, I can only assume that it's really about their freedom. It's really about their own time and them deciding when they want to work. Like, just having that freedom alone, it beats being at that 9-to-5. Okay? Now, you may still have a 9-to-5 and do gig work at the same time, right? Because you still need that extra income, right? Due to the state of the economy and where we're at. A lot of us are at financially. So we're going through a lot of hard times here, but you know, at the end of the day, we still got to push through. We still got to show up and, you know, put our foot on the pedal and get the stepping, right? So yeah, like if you're someone that you're sick of that 9 to 5, go ahead and download DoorDash, Instacart, whatever app, whatever gig app you want to download that you want to start off doing, right? Give yourself a little bit of that freedom to earn on your own accord and decide when you want to work. Just so you get that feeling, you get what it's like to not just be, you know, bound to just a 9 to 5 job all the time. Okay? Give yourself some leeway. Give yourself a little bit of freedom. You know, that's all I'm saying when it comes down to it. So that being said, if you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like up, smash that like button for the algorithm so that more people can see this video in their feed, and subscribe for more transparent content if you're new. This is Solo Dolo Talks. I'm out, and peace.